doing today? We're back finally, and I'm trying to just do a little here and there. Just haven't had any time. We're back on the budget 350 build. Well, what started to be the budget Vortec 350 build, which turned into the no budget whatsoever 350 build. You know, the $100 block that was stuck that we ended up getting bored, and new pistons and new cam, and I mean it's a full rebuild. We're going cheap on the heads with, you know, I rebuilt those with not much money into them, and the crank was in good shape, so we just got that polished. So I guess that's our budget portions, is the heads and the crank. But the block itself, board and new pistons and all that, we spent some money there. So what we're doing now is we're installing the piston rings. I mean, there's millions of different ways. I'll show you how to do it, and the diagram I use I'll put right here. So hopefully that makes sense, and I'll show you how I do this to kind of keep track. So little piece of 2x4 kind of keeps the piston from falling over, and what I do, because you need to keep track of what the top of the piston is. Now, if you think about it, in a V8 engine, you put this piston in and you put it on a even number side, and you know, this is the front of the engine this way, our dot, and that's what that means. This goes to the front of the engine. So you put this one in, and this is on an even side of the engine on a small block Chevy. Well, you take this one and you put it on the odd side. We've now flipped the top of the piston. So you've got to keep track of which one's which. Now, I marked my rods when I took them off. So this is number 4. So if you lay it out like it would be in the engine, it would be on this side. Like I said, this towards the front of the engine. So what we've got, I just threw 2 washers here, and there's a nut here. And this is just to remind me, even and odd. And we've got our block here. And so when I'm putting these in, I look to see if I've got an even number piston. I set it like this, with the dot towards me. That way I know this is top. And then when I get an odd number piston, I do it this way, so I know this is top. Now, like I said, I use that diagram just to make it easy. I just wrote it here on this box where I've got my rings. Just drew a circle. I wrote top on it. Our stuff is numbered. We've got our oil groove, little expander, and then the oil rings. So those are marked 3. I put a 3 here at the top of the piston. That's for the oil groove, little expander, springy, wavy, whatever you want to call it. That goes at the top. Your 2 little oil control rings go over here in the, what do you want to call this, 4 and 8 location, or 5 and 7, somewhere in there, if you look at it like a clock. And then you've got, you know, your second groove down here at the bottom of the piston, and the top ring at the top of the piston. So like I said, that's going by that diagram. I've used that. I also have here this Haynes manual that I bought years ago for my K5 Blazer, or actually it was a GMC Jimmy, but it has the same kind of view if you look at it. But the one thing they're not really doing for you here is they're not differentiating between the even and odd number pistons. So if you've got the front of the engine, you know, if you're looking at the piston with the dot here on the right or on the left, then they've got the top ring, but that doesn't really work, because you can't just look at each piston and do it like this, because on the other side of the engine it's going to be backwards. So that's why I like that that diagram I showed you, because it shows you 1, 3, 5, 7, 2, 4, 6, 8 which way they should go. But if you do it like this, you kind of you kind of have it, you know. So like I said, that's how I do it. Now on these rings, let me go put this one up, and then I keep the piston box. It's kind of divided up, and then I just throw these back in order in the box, and it makes it easier to grab the pistons when you're assembling the engine. So I've got, you know, an even number, an odd number size, and it just makes it easy. I just randomly grab them, and you can do them in order. Here's number 2. So we're gonna place number 2 over here, dot towards the front, piston on the even number side. Like I said, I start this ring. Now, if you look on these, and always check the instructions of the piston rings, just to make sure, but see this little, that goes up. It sits in the piston just like this. Those little points, they point up. So don't put them like this. They point up. So, and then this, like I said, it goes in the up position. So this is where this comes in handy. So that's straight up. Like I said, these go down here and down here. So we're gonna start one of those in, and normally just do the bottom first. And we're pop that over here. Of course, I got to make a video on this. There we go. Doesn't cooperate, but there we go. And then for on the opposite side, and I don't really keep track of which one I put on the left and right. It doesn't really matter. I'm just in that, you know, 4 and 8 position, somewhere around there. And then we'll do our other one right over here. Peel that one over around. And we're a little bit down. Scoot that one around. And we'll make sure we're still around 12 o'clock there. It looks good. And these are, this one's a little bit down. Like I said, you can just slide them around if you're not close to being right. Now, they will move around once they're in the engine. I mean, don't get too crazy with it, just in the general location. So now we have our second ring, which, if you look, has a dot on it. So that dot faces up. Make sure you face the dot towards the top of the piston. Now our second ring is going to go on the bottom. So like I said, this is where this comes in handy and keeping track of this. So I just spin them around. And we've got it at the bottom. And we go with number 1. Now, my number 1 does not have a dot, so it can go either way. There's no top and bottom on it. So start it in. And that's it. Not too difficult. I don't use a piston ring installer tool. You know, I just circle them around. I don't have any issues. It goes pretty quick. You kind of get a groove of this. This is, I've done 4 of them. This is my 4th one, 4th or 5th. So I'm like halfway done. and I really have not spent that much time on it. Actually, I can probably tell you. I've done 6 of them already? I don't think so. One stuck. Maybe I've done 6. I guess that was number 6. Yeah, because I only got 2 left. All right, so I've done 6 of them now, so it's really not that difficult. Just remember, you know, keep your left and right side of the engine. Just always know where the top of the piston is, basically. And I'll double check these when I go to install them. That's when you can kind of look and you can make sure, you know, since I've got it orientated correctly, when I go to install it, I should be able to look at this top ring and make sure it's facing up when I'm installing the pistons. And if it's not, then I know, hey, you know, I screwed something up. Let's check all of them. So, yeah. Expander ring and top ring at 12 o'clock, the second ring at 6 o'clock, and then your 2 oil control little rings at like the 4 and 8 o'clock, or somewhere around there. So yeah, and if you look at this one, they kind of give you a range on the spacer, the little springy ring for the oil control. So it's kind of anywhere in here, but I normally just orientate it straight up. And like I said, that diagram shows it straight up, as well as the top compression ring, second compression ring, and then your oil rings in these positions. So there you go. Hope that helps. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below, hit the like button, and subscribe for more.